Why does personality emerge? Are we defined at birth or shaped by experience? Why does personality come to be? Are we already determined individuals from the moment we're born? Or are we beings gradually shaped through life? We often hear people say, "That's just how they are." But is that really true? Did personality exist from birth? Or could it be something we created in order to survive? Today, we explore where personality comes from. Personality didn't exist from the start. First, it was simply response. When a child cries, and a parent holds them, the child learns. Crying keeps me safe. When a child speaks, and is ignored, the child learns. Silence keeps me safe. In some situations, speaking helped them survive, and in other moments, staying quiet preserved the relationship. When that response repeats, the brain remembers that choice. This is safe, and then it begins to automatically pull out that safe response. Research suggests our brains try to conserve energy. Repeating familiar patterns tends to be more efficient than thinking anew each time. That bundle of automated responses, that's what we call personality. Personality is a crystallization of repetition. Personality may have started as choice, but it becomes habit. Is there something in your personality that began as a conscious choice, but now emerges automatically? Part 2: Personality shaped by environment, traces of survival. Personality is an answer to the environment. In highly competitive environments, aggressive personalities tend to survive, while in relationship-focused settings, perceptive personalities tend to thrive. One child always had to be quiet at home because being loud meant getting in trouble. Even as an adult, that child struggles to speak up in meetings. The body still remembers that speaking up feels dangerous. Another child always had to smile because smiling was how they received love. Even as an adult, that child smiles even when sad. They learned that expressing sadness carried risk. So personality isn't a matter of right or wrong. It's not about strength or weakness either. Personality is the trace of choices that survived longest in that environment. Observations in psychology suggest that attachment patterns from childhood may shape relational patterns throughout life. Those who grew up in stable environments tend to trust others more easily, while those from unstable settings often learn to keep their distance first. Personality is a mirror of environment. Personality isn't our essence. It's the trace of choices that once felt safest. What part of your personality might have been shaped by your childhood environment? Does that environment still continue today? Part 3 is nothing innate, temperament and personality. So then, are we born with nothing at all? That's not quite the case. Findings by researchers suggest that temperamental traits like sensitivity, energy, and stability do seem to exist. Some babies startle at the slightest sound from birth, while others sleep peacefully through thunder. This appears to be innate, but what matters is that temperament isn't the conclusion of personality, it's the direction. The same sensitivity can become empathy in one environment and anxiety in another. When a sensitive child grows up in a safe home, they may become someone who reads others' emotions well. When a sensitive child grows up in an unstable home, they may become someone who's overly vigilant about danger. Same seed, different outcome. Temperament is direction, and environment is pace. What's innate is just the starting point. The destination gets shaped by environment and choice. Temperament offers possibility, but personality is made through experience. What temperament were you born with, and how is it manifesting as personality now? Part 4: Personality as Tool. The illusion of identity. The problem begins here. We don't use personality as a tool. We mistake it for identity. This is just who I am. But personality isn't the self itself. Personality is simply the way that once felt safest. There's an interesting observation psychologists have made. The same person shows different personality at home versus at work, and different personality with friends versus with parents. If personality were truly our essence, wouldn't it be the same everywhere? Yet we pull out different versions of ourselves depending on the situation. That itself is evidence that personality isn't essence but tool. Personality is a selectable repertoire. The tool can be set down depending on the situation. If you only hold a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The same goes for personality. When you insist on just one, the world gets narrow. Personality isn't a frame that defines me. It's a tool I use. Have you ever discovered a version of yourself different from usual in certain situations? Who were you in that moment? Ending, can it change? The possibility of expansion. So then, can personality change? Completely changing it may be difficult. Patterns repeated over long periods can't be erased in an instant, but expanding the range of choices is possible. Research suggests our brains change throughout our lives. New experiences create new neural pathways. Even an 80-year-old can have their brain structure change when they learn something new. The same goes for personality. Not eliminating personality, but setting it down temporarily when needed. Usually quiet, but able to speak when necessary. Usually proactive, but able to step back when the moment calls for it. Perhaps personality isn't about changing. It might be about utilizing. The problem with personality isn't personality itself. It's fixing personality as the only option. You already have multiple versions of yourself. You've simply been pulling out just one of them repeatedly. Which version of yourself would you like to use more often? That choice becomes possible starting right now. Personality isn't my essence. It might be a survival method I've used for a long time, but survival alone isn't enough. Now might be the time to choose how we live, not just survive. You don't need to struggle to change your personality. Instead, you might find the setting where that personality works best. Might that be true survival?